Evil, just the word itself, sends a chill down the spine. It's not something we can easily define, yet we know it when we see it. In fact, we don't need to see it. We feel it. The truth about evil is this: it doesn't need to announce itself. It hides in plain sight, cloaked in smiles, false kindness, and carefully crafted masks. But here's the unsettling part. It doesn't lurk only in dark alleys or behind locked doors. No, evil can fester in the spaces we trust the most: schools, places of worship, even the homes of those we call friends. It's this insidious, quiet presence that makes it so dangerous. When you finally see through the mask, when you recognize the darkness hiding behind the facade, something shifts. Evil doesn't retreat. It reacts. It begins to show its true colors in ways you might not expect. And trust me, it's not just in what they say, but in what they do. When evil knows you've uncovered its secrets, it fights back, not with force, but with calculated, manipulative moves designed to confuse, intimidate, and control. In this video, we're going to pull back the curtain on these behaviors. Using the timeless wisdom of Stoic philosophy, we'll break down 7 specific things evil people do when they realize you've figured them out. This isn't just about identifying these signs, it's about understanding them, staying calm, and standing firm. Knowledge is your greatest weapon, and by the end of this video, you'll be armed with everything you need to recognize, resist, and protect yourself against their tactics. Let's dive in and confront the darkness, not with fear, but with unshakable clarity and courage. Sign number 1, they give you strange vibrations. Vibrations are not just fleeting sensations. They are a deep instinct, an invisible alarm bell ringing within your soul. We live in a sea of energy, where everything around us, even people, emits unique frequencies. And when you encounter someone with malicious intent, their negative energy doesn't just affect your mind, it permeates the space around you, leaving you with a sense of unease. Have you ever walked into a room and felt discomfort you couldn't explain? That's not your imagination, that's vibration. Toxic individuals are often masters of subtlety. When they realize you've seen through their facade, their behavior shifts in noticeable ways. Smiles that once seemed genuine now feel calculated. Questions suddenly become invasive, making you feel as though they're trying to expose you. Every word, every gesture carries an unspoken message. I won't let you get away easily. These vibrations aren't just unsettling. They're a deliberate strategy, a manipulation designed to regain control. I've experienced this myself in the workplace. A colleague I once trusted revealed their true nature: selfish, envious, and scheming. When I recognized their true colors and began to distance myself, they didn't confront me outright. Instead, they switched tactics. They started asking unnecessary questions, monitoring my every move, and even spreading rumors to tarnish my reputation. At first, it kept me up at night with stress, but I realized the best way to counter this wasn't retaliation, it was staying calm and steadfast. I learned to ignore their negative vibrations and focus on my work. Strangely, as I stopped reacting, their influence began to fade. Stoic philosophy offers a vital lesson for moments like these. Epictetus once said, "We are not disturbed by what happens around us, but by how we interpret it." The truth is, strange vibrations and negative energy can't harm you unless you allow them to. When facing manipulative behavior, the most important thing is to maintain your inner calm. Those unsettling vibrations are just a test of your resilience, an opportunity to prove that your composure and wisdom are more powerful than any malicious intent. So, have you ever felt this way? Has someone's presence made you uneasy without explanation? How did you handle it? Share your story in the comments. By connecting and learning from one another, we can discover ways to preserve our inner peace, even when facing life's most challenging situations. Sign number 2. They lie to cover up past lies. Lies are like a finely woven web that even the one weaving it cannot escape. Each lie told doesn't just cover the truth. It adds another thread to this tangled web, making everything more complex. When malicious individuals realize their truth has been exposed, they never choose to confront it. Instead, they spin more lies, creating new layers of deceit in an attempt to regain control. Epictetus, the great Stoic philosopher, once said, "Man cannot learn what he thinks he already knows." This perfectly encapsulates those who live by lies. They deceive not only others, but also imprison themselves in ignorance, blinding their ability to recognize the light of truth. In reality, we've all encountered lies at some point, and at times, we've even been less than truthful ourselves. Research suggests that the average person lies 1 to 2 times a day. These are often minor untruths, like small jokes or efforts to avoid hurting someone's feelings. But malicious individuals don't lie to protect others' emotions. They lie to protect themselves, to cover up wrongdoings, and to safeguard their personal interests. When one lie is discovered, instead of admitting to it, they continue to deny and create a chain of fabricated stories to justify their initial deceit. This leads to an endless cycle where each new lie entangles them further in betrayal. Such individuals don't just break trust, they betray themselves. Deep down, they know that with every lie, they drift further from the truth and deeper into a pit of dishonesty. Deceit doesn't just destroy relationships, it erodes their own sense of value. I once had a close friend, someone I trusted completely. He came to me with a story of financial hardship and asked for a short-term loan to help him get through tough times. Trusting him, I didn't hesitate to lend the money, but I later discovered that he hadn't used the funds as he had claimed. Instead, he had spent it on extravagant indulgences I had no idea about. When I confronted him, he didn't admit to it. He denied everything and fabricated another story to cover his actions. He blamed circumstances, other people, and even tried to make me feel guilty for doubting him. This made me realize that, for such individuals, trust is not something they value. They are willing to break it, to harm those around them, as long as it serves their objectives. Deep down, they know each lie drives them further from the truth, yet they persist because to them, truth is not something to face, but something to conceal. When dealing with such people, the most important thing is to maintain your composure and clarity. As Stoic philosophy teaches, it's not events that disturb us, but our interpretation of them. Don't let lies disrupt your peace of mind. The truth is always more powerful than any web of deceit. Up next, let's explore another sign of malicious individuals when they realize you've uncovered their true nature. Sign number 3, they only come around. Have you ever felt like you were just a pit stop in someone else's journey? They show up when they need you the most, with sweet words and sincere gestures, but the moment they get what they want, they vanish without hesitation. It leaves you questioning whether your kindness has been taken advantage of. People like this never genuinely care about you. They care only about what they can extract from the relationship. And when they realize you've seen through their facade, their actions become more calculated and deliberate. At first, they make you believe they are trustworthy companions, always there when you need them. But once you begin to see their darker side, it becomes evident they only show up when they have something to gain. And when you're the one in need, they're nowhere to be found. These individuals are like opportunists, always calculating their moves. When there's nothing left to gain, they withdraw, leaving you feeling betrayed and hurt. What's even more disheartening is when things settle down, they return with insincere apologies and perfectly crafted excuses, hoping to make you believe their absence was circumstantial rather than intentional. They count on your forgiving nature to allow them back into your life. But remember, their return isn't about valuing you. It's about seizing another opportunity to exploit your kindness. I once worked with a colleague who seemed genuinely supportive of me in our projects. He didn't hesitate to put in extra hours or offer valuable advice, making me think he was a reliable ally. But then one day, I faced a major crisis at work and needed someone to stand by me. He was completely silent. No support, no gestures of concern. He just stood at a distance, avoiding the trouble entirely. After I managed to resolve the issue on my own, he reappeared with excuses, claiming he was too busy or didn't want to add to my stress. That's when I realized he wasn't a true ally. He was only there when it benefited him. Stoic philosophy teaches us that in such situations, there's no need for anger or resentment. Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one." While we can't control the behavior of others, we can control how we respond. The absence of people like this isn't a loss. It's an opportunity to free yourself from unhealthy relationships and focus on building genuine, meaningful connections. Remember, kindness is not weakness. It's a strength, but only when you know how to set boundaries. Those who truly value you won't exploit you. They'll stand by you even in the toughest of times. So, what about you? Have you ever experienced something like this? Share your story with us. Together we can learn how to protect our inner peace and build relationships that truly matter. Sign number 4. They try to make you feel stupid. Have you ever opened up to someone about your pain or struggles, only to hear responses like, "Why didn't you see that coming?" Or, "Why would you even do that?" These seemingly harmless comments carry an invisible weight, making you feel small, ashamed, and even blame yourself for not being good enough. This isn't the empathy you were hoping for. It's a veiled psychological blow. In that moment, they've achieved their goal, making you feel weak, isolated, and easier to manipulate. Toxic people often use this tactic to maintain control over others. They want you to doubt yourself, to question your abilities and worth. And when you fall into that trap, you become more vulnerable to their influence. What's frightening is that they do this not to build a genuine connection, but to keep you within their orbit of control, where they can continue their manipulation unchallenged. Instead of being true companions, they become masters of control, hiding their true nature behind sharp words and actions disguised as concern. Stoic philosophy offers a clear perspective on this situation. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Insults, mockery, or attempts to make you feel foolish can only affect you if you allow them to penetrate your mind. A Stoic would not react with anger or sorrow. They would step back, observe the situation as an outsider, and remind themselves that true value doesn't come from others' words, but from inner tranquility and self-respect. I recall a story from my own life. During a journey abroad, I met a new friend. At first, he seemed incredibly caring and always ready to help. But every time I shared a decision or an idea, he would make remarks that left me feeling inadequate. Comments like, "Why didn't you think further ahead?" Or "That's so obvious," kept surfacing, and I started to doubt my own abilities. But over time, I realized he wasn't a true friend. He wasn't interested in helping me grow. He just wanted to control how I felt about myself. Stoic philosophy taught me how to navigate these situations. Instead of letting his words hurt me, I learned to keep my mind steady and not let emotions take over. I realized that my reaction was the one thing I could control. From then on, I stopped being affected by his negative remarks and no longer felt the need to seek validation from someone who was trying to diminish me. Remember, your worth doesn't lie in what others say about you, but in how you confront the challenges life throws your way. Toxic people can only make you feel small if you let them. Stand firm in your inner strength, focus on what you can control, and never let anyone steal your confidence and peace of mind. Before we move on to the fifth sign, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel with the notification bell on so you don't miss future videos. If you're as passionate about this kind of content as I am, leave a comment saying, "I love this wisdom." Let's continue. Sign number 5. They come with a new reputation. Have you ever looked at someone and thought they might truly embody deceit and cruelty? If your answer is yes, you're not alone. Evil in people doesn't always reveal itself through actions or words. On the contrary, it often hides under a perfect guise of kindness, convincing you that they're just ordinary. But the most frightening thing isn't how they conceal their true nature. It's how they manipulate your perception, making you doubt yourself and the truths you've uncovered. Evil individuals aren't just bad people. They are masters of disguise, skilled in psychological games that you may not even realize you're being drawn into. When they discover you've seen through them, they won't confront the truth. Instead, they act quickly to change how you perceive them. It's not an honest apology. It's a new narrative, crafted with intricate details and emotional undertones, designed to make you think you've misunderstood them. Imagine having a colleague infamous for being deceitful and untrustworthy. One day you confront them, and rather than admitting their actions, they tell you an emotional story about their troubled past and how they've changed. It sounds so convincing that you begin to question yourself. But this is their strategy, creating confusion and making you doubt your judgment. I've been through this myself. Someone I trusted completely turned out to be manipulative and deceitful. When I uncovered the truth, instead of admitting their wrongs, they spun an elaborate tale to change my perception of them. For a long time, I was trapped in self-doubt, wondering if I was being too harsh or if I had judged them unfairly. But eventually, I realized that every explanation, every story, was just a smokescreen to obscure the truth. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." Evil people understand this all too well. If they can manipulate your thoughts, they can control your perception and actions. But Stoic philosophy teaches us an essential lesson. Keep a clear mind. Don't let fleeting emotions or fabricated stories cloud your judgment. When someone goes out of their way to rebuild their reputation after being caught, remember that it's rarely genuine remorse. It's another tactic to maintain control. Evil doesn't just change its outward appearance. It leaves behind an unsettling feeling, a vague sense of discomfort that you can't quite explain. When you feel this, trust your instincts. Pay attention to the signals your heart is sending you because they might be your most valuable warning. Don't be deceived by carefully crafted narratives or meticulously hidden facades. Stay vigilant, question everything, and protect the truth within your mind. Sign number 6. They act like they don't know what they are. Have you ever wondered how to recognize someone who's intentionally hiding their true nature? This isn't just an intriguing question. It's a survival skill in today's complex world. When exposed, toxic individuals rarely confront the truth with dignity. Instead, they deploy their most cunning strategy, feigning innocence, pretending not to know, or even casting themselves as the victim. They aim to deceive you into believing they had no awareness of the harm they've caused, leaving you confused and questioning your own emotions. This behavior isn't just a denial of responsibility, it's a form of malicious psychological manipulation. For example, you might express your pain, hoping for an apology, but instead, they respond with a sarcastic question like, "Why didn't you tell me sooner?" This not only invalidates your feelings, but also shifts the blame onto you. It's not merely clever, it's a calculated move to make you feel guilty, as though you were the one in the wrong. I experienced something similar during my time living in a new place. I had a friend I initially thought was trustworthy, but they exploited my kindness. When I finally recognized their behavior and confronted them, they feigned complete ignorance. "Oh, I didn't realize you felt that way. Why didn't you say something earlier?" they said, in a tone that was both innocent and dismissive. In that moment, I felt not only hurt, but also as though my understanding of reality was being twisted. They made me question whether I was being overly sensitive. But after some reflection, I realized this was their way of controlling me, manipulating me to evade accountability. Stoic philosophy teaches us that how we react to such situations is what truly matters. Epictetus once said that we are not disturbed by events themselves, but by how we interpret them. Toxic individuals may try to distort the truth, but you don't need to let them define your emotions or experiences. You have every right to stand firm in your truth and your values. Don't let their deceit shake you. These individuals will always seek to avoid consequences, casting themselves as innocent victims to confuse and make you doubt yourself. But the key is to remain steadfast and not let them erode your confidence in the truth. Stoicism reminds us that true strength lies in self-control and resilience. By protecting the truth and resisting emotional manipulation, you can overcome the challenges they impose. Remember, the truth is always the guiding light that will lead you through even the darkest times. Sign number 7, they try to manipulate you. Manipulation is like a silent yet destructive storm, shaking your confidence and stripping away your control over your own life. Manipulators don't always appear overtly aggressive. They often hide behind a perfect facade of kindness, concern, or even love. But don't be fooled by appearances. They use subtle tactics to take control of your emotions, leaving you feeling isolated, doubtful of yourself, and eventually dependent on them. Imagine someone close to you constantly expressing concern and care in every situation. They check in on you, offer advice, and insist they only want the best for you. But beneath their words lies a darker motive. Their advice isn't meant to help you grow, but to make you doubt yourself. A woman once shared with me a story about her mother. Every time she wanted to start a new relationship, her mother would gently say, "Are you sure they won't hurt you? Think about all the mistakes you've made before." These seemingly caring words instilled fear in her, eroded her confidence, and ultimately made her abandon promising opportunities in her life. Manipulators like this are masters at wielding emotional intelligence to control you. They don't just identify your vulnerabilities. They weaponize them to make you feel powerless, small, and ultimately reliant on them. They may even disguise their manipulative actions as acts of kindness, convincing you that they are the only person you can trust. But in reality, they're slowly taking control of your life, one calculated step at a time. In Stoic philosophy, true happiness doesn't come from seeking validation from others, but from mastering your own mind. Allowing someone to manipulate you means surrendering your freedom and becoming a puppet in their hands. This is something a Stoic would never tolerate, as personal freedom is a core, non-negotiable value. One common tactic of manipulators is making you feel incapable. They make you believe you can't handle anything on your own, that without them, your life will spiral into chaos. A man once shared how his wife would constantly tell him, "You can't take care of the kids by yourself. What do you know besides earning money?" Hearing these words day after day, he began to lose faith in his abilities to the point where he wouldn't make any decisions without her approval. Breaking free from manipulation requires setting firm boundaries and defending them at all costs. When you say no, stand by it. When you set limits, don't let anyone bend them. Stoic philosophy reminds us that while we can't control other people's actions, we always have control over how we respond to them. And that is your true power. No one can take it from you unless you allow it. Remember, manipulation only works if you let it. A self-reliant and resolute mind is never swayed by someone else's psychological games. This is your moment to stand up, reclaim control over your life, and refuse to play their game. Don't let the pain turn you into a puppet. Let it become the strength you need to break free. So, we've uncovered the 7 distinct behaviors that toxic individuals exhibit when they realize you've seen through their true nature. These signs not only help you understand the hidden intentions behind their facade, but also empower you to protect yourself from their harmful influence. Stoic philosophy reminds us that true strength lies in maintaining inner calm and self-control. No one can truly harm you if you know how to safeguard your mind and your resolve. Remember this: toxic people will always try to manipulate and control you, but your real power lies in not letting them disrupt your inner peace. Each time you refuse to let them dictate your emotions, you not only shield your serenity, but also reinforce your self-respect and autonomy. Let the lessons from this video become a part of your mental armor, equipping you to face life's challenges with clarity and courage. Before we wrap up, let me ask you this: what did today's content awaken in you? Do you feel more equipped to identify and confront the toxic individuals around you? If this video brought value to your life, please like and share it to spread these vital lessons to others who may need them. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so we can continue this journey of fostering inner peace and self-mastery together. Lastly, share your thoughts in the comments below. Have you encountered these signs in your own life? How did you overcome them? Your story could be a powerful source of inspiration for others. Until next time, stay strong, resolute, and always protect the peace within your soul.